What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to the bench for a brand new episode here on our F3H Demon. Today we're going to finish off the kit, guys. I'm really excited to see how this comes together. So let's go ahead and grab the model. Let's get started. So last time we overcoated everything in its colors. We have insignia white on the bottom, which is, by the way, not tacky, so that's awesome. Light gold gray up on top, plus details painted with flat black and all clad. We are ready today to move on to the fidgety parts, such as the landing gears, the wheel bay doors, the main wheel bays, the supports, the actuators, all that good stuff. Lots to do. That's where we're going to go ahead and start. Also, last time we went ahead and painted everything for the wingtips. Those are ready to go, and the wheels need a little bit more touch up, but I think we are on the right track. So let's go ahead and jump into our first time lapse. We're going to work, like I said, on the landing gears, all the different doors and actuators and wheels, and then we're going to see how these go together because they're very complicated in real life. So let's see how Hobby Boss decided to get those together. All right, let's get this party started. Alright everybody, so we are back and the landing gears are all on. We've got all the doors and the actuators. They all went together really well, so I'm happy with it. The Demon has very complicated landing gears and different struts and actuators, so Hobby Boss did a really good job, I think, of putting them all together in plastic. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Now we're going to go ahead and move over to a couple of extra details we have to go ahead and add, and that would be the wing walks, first and foremost. We are actually building an early -2M, so our version doesn't have the wing spoilers. Hobby Boss gives you the decal for the wing walks that include the cutout for the wing spoiler, and since we're not using that, we can't use the decal. So instead, we're going to go ahead and create our own template out of Tamiya tape. We're going to match it perfectly up with the decal, and then we're just going to figure out where it needs to go, place it down on the model, surround it with tape, pull it up, and then airbrush it. So that's going to be a little tricky, but I think we can get it done. So let's go ahead and jump into our second time lapse. We're going to go ahead and detail up these wing walks, get those painted, get those masked. It's going to be a little complicated, but not too bad. And then we're going to move over to the tail planes. We got to glue those in. And as I mentioned before, I want to install those slightly canted upward. And then I want to go ahead and overcoat the entire thing with a gloss coat of Future to make sure that we've got a nice surface to go ahead and decal. I might actually put 2 coats on, but if I do that, I'll do one off camera because you kind of know the gist of it. But anyway, let's jump back into that time lapse. Let's push on. Let's see what we can do. Let's get this thing ready for decals. And with our Future coats on there and dried, we're going to move over to decals. And I am very excited to go ahead and get these markings on the aircraft. I'm going to be doing the VF61 Jolly Rogers version. And unfortunately, it's not as colorful as their later markings would have been. But this is the only one we can accurately build as a -2M. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Now, I have noticed that the Navy symbol on the side is a little bit too big compared to my references, but we're still going to try them out. We didn't buy any extra decals. We've got actually 2 sheets that come with the kit. And we're going to add in an extra piece for the M there on the F3H-2. I want to go ahead and include that M because this is the M version. So let's go ahead and cut out all of our decals, grab our microsol, our microset, grab our hot water, and then let's get all of these nicely applied. After that's done, we're going to come back, overcoat it with Future, and get it ready for weathering. So this should be fun. Let's get in there. Let's get some color on this bird. And now with all of our gloss coats cured, we are ready for weathering. And weathering is always a little bit of a strange prospect for me because I'm not really that adept at weathering. But we've got lots of references and I think I've got an idea of what I want to do, because luckily for us, since we're building an early -2M, we're not going to be nearly as weathered as the later end of service life aircraft would have been. That is a great thing because we're going to go ahead and take it a little bit easy here on this aircraft. And based on my references, we don't have a lot of heavy weathering to do. First off though, I'm going to go ahead and go over the entire aircraft with some panel line washes. That's going to help to tint that down just a little bit to accentuate a little bit of those panel lines and also to get it a little dirtier. And then I think we'll be on the good track to come back in and do a bit of streaking with some oil paint. Because for some odd reason, these early Cold War jets, they had a lot of leaks, and we're going to go ahead and try to represent a few of those that I see in other reference photos. So let's go ahead and jump in there, guys. Last time lapse of the day. Let's finish this off. Let's get everything weathered down, throw some oils on there, get some panel liners going, finish it off with this semi-gloss top coat, and I'll show you guys what we come up with. Let's finish off strong here, guys. Let's do it. And we are back, guys. After 9 long weeks, we have finally finished off our F3H-2M Demon by Hobby Boss. This was a great build. Had so much fun with this one. There are a few inaccuracies, of course. It's not the best fitting kit in certain areas, but generally speaking, it went together well. But let's go ahead and zoom in for you here, and I'll show you guys a little bit of the weathering we did and talk a bit about the kit, because there are a couple of issues I have with it. So first off, we can check out the close-ups, and the cockpit was so much fun to work on. I really enjoyed adding in the seat belts and custom making all the little details and whatnot, painting everything as well. Since this is a 2M, I had a little bit of discrepancy with the instrument panel, but we got that sorted, so I'm happy with it. The panel lines have turned out really well, so I'm happy about that. We've done a little bit of weathering, a little bit of staining here and there, so nothing too crazy, but just a little bit like I saw in references. So yeah, we also went ahead and added in that M on the decals, and the decals themselves weren't great. There were a couple of issues here and there with them, but we made them work. We are lacking a couple of stencils and some name placards on the side of the aircraft right below the cockpit, so that isn't great. Otherwise, yeah, we got a little bit of weathering here, some streaking. We tried to go a little bit easy on that. I think it gives you enough of an impression. These things leak like a sieve, so hopefully we've gotten all of the oil stains in the right places, and yeah, we're good to go. Again, this is an earlier Demon, so it wouldn't have seen a lot of action just yet, but it would have seen a little bit. Again, I had a lot of fun putting in and changing up the angles on those rear tailplanes and just adding little bits and pieces here and there to really kind of spice it up. So much fun. This is a great kit for that. I think looking back across the whole build, my favorite portion of this kit was the cockpit. I absolutely loved working on all the details, adding in the switches, painting up everything. The ejection seat is correct for this particular version, so I'm very happy with that. And I did try to go ahead and add in a little bit more detail there on the front coping. It's not exactly perfect, but it works for me. It looks a bit busier, and I like that. The overall look of the aircraft, I tried to go ahead and mix a couple of different ideas. One was this photo here of this actual aircraft. As you can see, it's doing a takeoff here, probably a touch and go. And I tried to match up a little bit of the weathering, got that streaking coming off the rear fuselage. So I tried to use that image there for just a basic look. And then I went through and I found other areas that looked kind of interesting, like that streak along the bottom of the fuselage, and also some of the detailing right around the tail cone. I also used this image right here, which was the inspiration for this build, having the folded wings, and again added in a little bit of detail, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of grime here and there with the open air brakes. So this is as close as I could get this thing to look like the references, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's not a perfect kit, mind you. There are some obvious issues with it. We've got some inaccuracies. Hobby Boss did a really weird thing of mixing and matching different versions, but we've got our Demon. It's an early -2M, so that allowed me to be a bit more creative with it, and yeah, got those wings folded, which honestly wasn't that hard to do, so I'm pretty pleased with it. I think this is going to look great on my Navy Cold War shelf, so I am super happy, and I cannot wait to go ahead and get this thing in the display case. But with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming along for these 9 long weeks. We've got ourselves a finished Demon, and I'm pretty happy with it. So join me here next episode for a new build here on Ben Builds. And until then, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool. And we'll see you back here on the next adventure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.